American voter is far smarter than anything you could ever imagine, especially those instances when the voter feels that he or she is being pandered to, played through some kind of weird, kind of strange, pedantic, head patting, there, this patronizing rudeness. People know when they're being played, when they're being taken for granted, and nobody ever exemplifies this better than the African American voter community. It is axiomatic. Rule number one: they and we are the same. And I know this may completely destroy every socioeconomic and color and racial and class platform, ideology and position, but we are the same. We are absolutely positively the same. Same likes, same fears, same concerns. We may not know each other, and that's really it. There's this cosmic separateness. Most white people, white voters, have no black friends. Friends. Interconnected friends. Same goes for black with whites. Same goes for whites and Asians. We live in this heterogeneous world of diversity. We don't know each other. We don't deal with each other. We always have the proverbial friend, and some of my best friends are black or Korean or... No, we're not. You may know people. And believe it or not, if you did, you would find absolute incomprehensible sameness. The thing that separates us, the only thing that separates us and keeps us from assimilating is culture. Class. I don't mean class in terms of high class, low class, but class, culture, the same demarcations that separate many within a particular group. So rule number one, let me just say something. We're all the same. We have families and friends, and we have concerns, and we worry. But American whites, will look sometimes to the black community as being urban, big city, crime. The vast plurality of African Americans are not in any way connected with a crime, at least from the viewpoint of being a defendant. This is something which is, it just goes to show you, it is axiomatic. When I was a prosecutor, and we started to, you get into the world of trying to pick juries, people would always say things like, be very careful if you have a black defendant, because a black jury will oftentimes connect with a black defendant, you see. That's a big mistake they're making now, where they're saying, as in the case of Fitty, or not he per se, but people are saying, well, the black community really appreciates and connects with Trump because, he's being charged criminally. It's like, wait a minute. You're presupposing that black people are all criminals or that they know something about this. They may have certainly a heightened awareness, a heightened sensitivity historically, but in terms of actual hands-on involvement, no, absolutely not. This is the thing that it never ceases to amaze me. Why people think that because we don't know. We think that that we whites think that blacks live in ghettos or in cities and they all listen to the same music and they have the same speaking style and no. Same thing goes with the white community. Dear God, what is the white community in the United States? You want to compare the Appalachians and the Cajuns to somebody from Chicago or Brownsville, Texas? No, there's no comparison. Nothing. But they're white. Yes, but you say, yes, but there's experiential differences. The same thing goes for black folks. The next thing, What Trump is doing through a genius I do not understand. And I will never, I can pretend to understand it. I can pretend to, I'll give you some half-baked, reason for it. But it's me in a kind of a post hoc rationalization. For reasons that astound. When Trump speaks, he either connects 100% or rejects, or is rejected 100%. It's like buttermilk. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in-between. Nobody's, And I don't know what it is. I have no idea of what it is. And the more you try to explain, well, why do you think he's making inroads with the African-American community? Come on! The third point is, and maybe this is a version of the first and second, there is no unanimous mindset of African Americans, and I'm going to call them blacks, black Americans, okay? You think everybody digs George Floyd? I mean, it's an insult. It's an insult. It goes to show you that we don't know each other. The only thing we know about it is, and there's always been this real strange kind of like museum appreciation. We look at each other the way people do, like in a museum, like, oh, this is the Assyrians. I see. This exhibit deals with the Mesopotamia. If you only had no, there are differences, and there are cultural, absolutely, of course. You can go. Look, every now and then somebody would say things like, "Yeah, but how can you explain the O.J. Simpson thing? How come you can explain that? How come all the black folks were in love with O.J. Simpson and they were applauding when he was acquitted?" Well, not everybody was, but you only zoomed in on those people who were. And how about people were applauding when John Gotti was acquitted? Well, that's different. Why is that different? Let me tell you something, which is, do you remember in California, what was it, Prop 8, or forgive me if I don't, it was the marriage amendment. And it was resoundingly rejected by the black Californian voting contingent. Why? Because they said, we're not pro-gay. And they said, what? No, these are hardcore, not that it's conservative, but there was a more of a traditional, there wasn't a homophilic versus homophobic appreciation for this. Absolutely not. In fact, when you went to these folks and said, I'm surprised that you would be against this, because after all, in the case of Loving against Virginia, the Supreme Court case that struck down anti-miscegenation laws in 1967 or whatever the year was, you should have an appreciation for the fact that people should be allowed to be married irrespective. And they said, excuse me, are you associating being black with being gay? And that's when they missed completely. It's like, what? What? Next point. The three areas, the three people that not just President Trump, but be on the look, whoever it is, whether you want to call it Republicans or conservatives or Democrats or neo-Democrats, whatever you want to call them. African Americans, Latinos, and gay people. Let's get to that one first. LGBT. You want to talk about a group of folks that nobody understands, and I mean nobody. It's gay folks. Oh my God. If you think black people are stereotyped, I know folks who think that everybody gay is like one of these TikTok lunatics, with pink hair, and not that there's anything wrong with pink hair, but studs and things and their tattoos and spikes and whatever the hell these people who talk to themselves and they use pronouns nobody understands and they're weird and they want to dance in front of children and kind of like Joe Biden. Anyway, but No, this is the most. You talk about, and lesbians. Remember them? Plain old lesbians, just garden variety. They're just completely shelved altogether. Let me tell you this: gay folks after the whole. The 60s movement, this incredible, this absolute cacophony of change. Let me tell you something. I don't think people understand what we're talking about here. But to make a long story short, as was explained to me by a gay man in his 70s, he goes, it was LGB, and then all of a sudden T came along. And they didn't understand that. They said, well, what is T? Non-binary, trans. And there were people who would say, I'm a gay man, or I'm a gay woman. And gender had nothing to do with their sexuality. It was this merging. And they said, whoa, wait a minute, what about us? And they were pushed out of the way. They were absolutely pushed out of the way. And they said, but you don't understand. We're here. No, get out of the way. Thank you. Thank you for all your help. So they're pushed. What are we doing? Then there were Latinos. Latinos, if you want to really, 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 honest to God, talk about people who have just been abused, it's what we call Latinos, okay? And there were different moments in our particular culture. I was referring to the Stonewall riots in the 60s, and then there was this movement, and there was an acceptance. But I'm going to say one more thing about this. Not everybody who is gay or non-binary is overtly such, or that you can tell, or anything. They're just regular folks who just want to live safely. They want to have a family, the same stuff that you do. Now, Latinos. Okay. I have been around this my entire life. I don't want to say my ethnicity, because I'm an American, but I know more about this than you can imagine. First, growing up in Florida, and knowing and being in Ybor City, second generation, we had Cubans and Spaniards to an extent, but Cuba, a lot of Cubans and Sicilians. Cubans are unbelievable. They make Ronald Reagan look like Ramsey Clark. They are the most hardcore, prototypical Cubans now, the post-Castro. You can't believe these folks. And if you call them Latino, and you say, what do you have to do with, what similarities do you share with Ecuadorians or Colombians, or people from Spain, or people from Guatemala, or people from, they look at these, nothing. Even the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans have nothing to do with each other. And they're kind of Caribbean, nothing. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, oh my God, oil and water. So when you say, Latinos, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's who Trump's second group. Blacks, Latinos, I'm going to use that term, and gays. And guess what they want? Same thing you want. And it's not because, and I hate this, sometimes they say, isn't it interesting the way black folks hey, look at them. Again, it's very patronizing. It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, isn't that something that they like him? Not really. Trump doesn't care about, if there's one thing about Trump, and I think I can say this, he's kind of aloof. He likes everybody and doesn't like everybody. He doesn't see black, white, Latino. He sees everybody kind of the same. Which is the way I think most of us are. So the bottom line is there's really nothing that fascinating about his acceptance and why he is going to clobber the opposition come November, with groups of people forging a new alliance that nobody would have ever thought possible. And by the way, to the Republicans, of which I am not, I am a member of no party, but to the Republicans, you're going to blow this again. You're not going to see or guess what's going on, and you're going to let this thing go. I promise you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Make sure you like this video, and of course, comment as you see fit.